It is here. Follow the money. It is here. It is finally here. A lot of people don't even know it is here yet. But know that something is wrong. Most people feel that something is wrong with the economy. In this season, the wealth gap in Jamaica will widen as the middle class is eradicated, shifting majority of them into poverty, while the rich gets richer as the poor serves them. As you all know, it is money which moves Jamaica. You decide, does it make sense or does it make dollars? If you want to know what is here, stick around. We will be speaking on the recession that is here that many don't even realize just yet. Welcome and thanks for joining us on RoadTripja, the Money Monday edition. On your way in, if you have not done so already, please hit the subscribe button. It is free. If value was added or you receive a new perspective, give this video a thumbs up and don't neglect to share with others who you think this information will be of value to. So, what is a recession? A recession is a macroeconomic term that refers to a significant decline in the general economic activity in a designated region. It has been typically recognized as 2 consecutive quarters of economic decline as reflected by GDP in conjunction with monthly indicators such as rise in unemployment, etc. However, the National Bureau of Economic Research, NBER, which officially declares recession, says 2 consecutive quarters of decline in real GDP are not how it is defined anymore. The NBER defines a recession as a significant decline in the economic activity spread across the economy, lasting more than a few months, normally visible in real GDP, real income, employment, industrial production, wholesale retail sales, etc. Let me ask a question. Does anyone know what is worse than a recession? Well, the answer is a depression. But we'll speak about that at a later time. Since industrialization, modern consumer-focused economies have followed the basic business cycle, which is observed in cycle of economic expansion during periods of high employment, consumption, and consumer confidence, and contractions during subsequent period of lower consumption, employment, and consumer confidence. These booms and busts, as they are more casually known, tend to have a frequency of about 7 to 10 years. And some economists have added that these cycles take place within a longer cycles that play out over decades or even century. So yes, the economy goes up, it comes down. It is cyclic in nature. So you may have profits and losses. That there keeps the whole system in equilibrium and in balance. However, over time, the economy tends to trend up. And the GDP refers to the gross domestic product. It means basically the amount of value a country is actually producing. Then we have, in some instances, trade deficit, in which we import more than we export. So there's a deficit there in terms of the cash that we have or the value. So we are in a worse state than if it was zero. It would have been better had we had a trade surplus, which means that we are sending out more than we are taking in. And because of the dependence that Jamaica has on the other areas of the world, including but not limited to the United States and China, if the United States is experiencing a tightening of their economy, what is going to happen is that Jamaica also will have a tightening of their economy, because the Jamaican dollar cannot be used everywhere in the world. It only is usable in Jamaica actually. So the Jamaican reserve currency is in US denomination. So we have to take in the US economy into consideration when we are considering things that could be happening to Jamaica on a global scale. Most economists will also point out that these cycles tend to be upward as the economic have temporary sprint forwards and setbacks. But at the end of the day, everything remains balanced. Historically, when we have high level of unemployment, high inflation, we know that something is about to happen. It means that the market is contracting. And with the pandemic that had set us back, with the China supply chain delays, we have an understanding that yes, indeed, something is happening which is preventing our productivity. And we need to remember that as a people living in Jamaica and the diaspora, if there is an economic shrinkage taking place, a recession takes place, then people will not be traveling as much. And we know that tourism is one of the driving factors in the Jamaican economy. And if people cut down on traveling to Jamaica, then the resources that are coming in, the capital injection, that will be reduced. And if that is reduced, then that is going to even put a drainage on the GDP. And we realize now that we are importing more food supply because there is a food shortage that is looming. Not that Jamaica is not able to produce the necessary food to support itself, but we are so lazy and have become so complicitly dependent that we have to be importing food and food products. However, this cycle is going to last but a little while, and over time the cycle will stabilize and will get back into progression. But this depressive cycle can last for years. So we have to keep our eyes focused on the recession that is pending based on the tightening and the contractions taking place, interest rate increasing. And we have to not only look at Jamaica as a sole country, but we have to look at Jamaica in the grand scheme of things. As you see, over time, since 2020, 2021, now 2022, we have been delegating some of our governance responsibility to international bodies. It shows you that we will be impacted by all those agreements which we have. And now that we have the war taking place in Ukraine and the war with Russia, there is also this stalemate taking place with the oil and gas prices. As we see, there has been an increase which is pumping the inflation. So what is happening is that everything is basically going to be costing more because of the money supply that was printed in US denominators, and that has impacted globally the United States and also Jamaica, the Caribbean, and other countries that use the US currency as a reserve. So if the United States goes into a recession, it is going to have an equally significant result on the life and the quality in Jamaica. But we can safeguard ourselves as long as we understand these concepts. In the next sitting, we're going to try to speak about inflation and what inflation actually means. So we have a better understanding as to how can we navigate these situations and become better citizens of the world while reaping profits in these times of crisis. As we always hear, never waste a crisis. Thanks for stopping by on RoadTripja in this Money Mondays edition. Do have yourself a great day as you seek to position yourself to have a financial advantage. As always, walk, ride, drive, and fly good. Remember, always ask yourself, does it make sense or does it make dollars?